Are you good?
Good, man. Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Guys, what's going on? It's Brian.trippe, and I am back with another property walkthrough. But before we start walking through some properties, I want you guys to meet Jacob Graul, who has been an investor since he was 19. I'll go all the way back to when you first bought your primary.
Okay.
We'll call it that.
Okay.
So been an investor for 10 plus years, almost 12 years. And he's doing his business in kind of North Alabama, not Huntsville, but kind of, how would we describe it? Gadsden area? Aniana area?
Yeah, Aniana, Boaz, Albertville, Gunnersville, some Etowah County. Not Gadsden, but on the outskirts of Gadsden.
So in other words, we are out in the country, okay? And we're going to talk today about how we are buying houses, how we're flipping houses, how we're holding rentals in really the country. So let's talk right there, Jacob. I know you're kind of from this area, but how do you kind of get started, and why did you get started doing it in these kind of areas like in Aniana versus going to a Birmingham and a bigger city where maybe people tell you should?
Yeah, so it's just really where I live. Had a lot to do with it. I didn't want to have to drive an hour or so, and I really just found my niche in figuring out that there wasn't a whole lot of competition around the areas that I'm in as compared to like a big city or whatever. So I was able to get out there, and with less competition, you get better deals, right? And more opportunities arise, and you get an opportunity to get your name out there, and people know who you are and what you're about and what you do. So I just kind of fell into it by where I live, but then I fell in love with it by the fact that I'm not in a big city, and I'm kind of there's a few people out here that do this kind of stuff, but there's not like a big group, and it's not a massive competition. So that's why I do it. There's niches and riches, and I stay in the ditches. So go ahead.
Right. Well, let's go back to, the very beginning. How do you get started in real estate?
When I deployed in 2015, I saved all my money. So there's really not anything to spend it on out there. So I just saved everything. And then I came home with everything that I'd done. I'd already bought a house previous to that. So I'd already owned my own house, and I bought it, in 2014. So I had some equity in my house, and I had some cash, and I just went on Google and I typed in, we're talking about 30 grand. Okay. We're not talking about, large amounts of money, but I typed in what to do with a lot of money, and I didn't know. And I just knew that I was saving everything I could, and I knew that the banks wasn't paying me crap to keep it in there, so there had to be a better way. And I had to channel through a bunch of crap on the internet, and I got to real estate investing. Got super interested in it. Met my later wife, but girlfriend, her grandfather was investing in real estate in the Huntsville area, building houses and lake houses, and had rental property and stuff, and he talked to me a lot. So I just got very intrigued in that, and it just kind of started from there. When I got home, I bought some land on foreclosure because it was cheap, and kicked the people out, and then got talked into owner financing the land to the neighbors, and was like, hey, this ain't that bad. So I owner financed them, and then I bought a mobile home and put it on a lot, and I was like, put it on Section 8. I was like, okay, this isn't bad either. So that's just kind of, then we started buying houses, and then we ran out of money, and we had to figure out how we were going to borrow money or flip, which is now what I do a lot now, is more flip, and then supplement with rental. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you started buying rentals to begin with.
Rentals to begin with.
That was the strategy in the very beginning, is you wanted to buy rental property.
Right.
What was it about having rental property that was so attractive?
Now you got to remember, this was before COVID and everything went crazy. So it's not like, it wasn't uncommon to get a pretty decent deal back then on a house that was 20 years old. You could get it around here for under 70 or so. Mm-hmm. And then you could rent it out for, $700, $800, $900. But what I loved about it was that I would look into these big cities, and I would say, man, a house just like this is, $150 a square foot, and I'm buying this thing for $40 a square foot. There's got to be something here. So I was just banking on the appreciation, and it happened a lot faster than I thought. because COVID happened and everything went crazy. But like we just said, so but it was the net worth growth, the cash flow was kicking out, but I was buying decent houses for a good price, and it's harder to do that right now. But as far as like for rental, keep them for rentals. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you mentioned you ran out of money.
Yeah.
So when people buy rental property, that's typically what happens is they run out of money and they typically have to go and run and try to borrow from somewhere, some way. It sounds like to me that's what you did. What did you when you kind of ran out of money, what was the next step for you? Because you're still getting deals.
Yeah. So I had equity, and I got some lines of credit on equity, and then I would use equity as collateral to buy houses, and then I would kind of use my own money. I was working a full-time job. My wife was working a full-time job, so we were taking all that income and we were living on peanuts, and we were putting all that back into the rental property. And we had some that were paid off, and so we were using those as collateral. We were just kind of using what we had already built to kind of springboard us on through.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about banks. Maybe we're going to go look at a lot of properties with Jacob. So we'll probably talk about banks in the future. But so you got into flipping, and you felt like you had to start flipping houses to kind of generate some more cash.
Yes, there's a difference in cash flow and having a cash cow, right? Because cash flow can only take you so far, and so I needed a cash cow, and I realized that I was already renovating these properties to a pretty high standard, and if I just took them a little bit further, I could get them to market flip. So the path for me was to, okay, let's kick out some money off these flips, and let's use that revenue to help our rental portfolio grow faster and at a better equity standpoint instead of borrowing everything, because it's a hard road at $200 net a door when you borrow everything. That's just, I know they teach that and stuff, but it's a hard road in my experience. So you want to be.
So by the time you pay for tax and insurance, the mortgage, and then possibly somebody moves out, tenant turnover, things like that. By the time you pay all those things, you're not left with a whole much.
You're not left with a whole lot. And so if you put yourself in a better equity standpoint, meaning either you put more money down on the down payment, or you fund the rehab, and you know that what you're renting it for and what your expenses are, there's a gap there. I mean, they're $400, $500, $600 a month. And then we got into purchasing mobile homes that were paid off free and clear. See, like a third of my rentals are paid off. I don't have anything on them. So a third of my portfolio is kicking out just cash flow. And a lot of them's mobile homes and some houses in there. But I'm not banking on that appreciation as much. What I'm using that cash for is to springboard the assets that I'm going into now that are going to grow and appreciate. So,
and to give people an idea of your portfolio, what are we sitting on here? We got rental property, and I know you said you've got you've got some apartments that count as that, and you've got a mobile home park. Just tell us everything you got going on right now.
Three apartment complexes, mobile home park, and then a bunch of mobile homes that are scattered, and a bunch of houses that are scattered, and then a mini storage facility.
And then you also have flips going on.
Flips, yeah. So got like 7 active flips, and then like 3 or 4, maybe 5 on the market. Maybe, I think 4 on the market. So that's where we're at.
So, and how old are you?
31.
You're 31.
31.
So you're sitting here talking about buying a house when you were 19, and you did that on a VA loan, right?
Loan, yeah.
And then you were deployed, and you come back, and then you start buying rental property. But in between all that, you're also working jobs too.
Yeah, I think like it sounds great when we talk on the camera about all this stuff, but it's anybody can do it. It's hard work, man. I swear. Like I was working 2 jobs, a lot of Saturdays. Like I mean, even when I was younger, working jobs, and I bought my house when I was 19 because I was working and had money saved up. I mean, it's super hard to get ahead in life if you don't work hard, and also I think live frugal. So like live below your means, and try not to get rewarded for something right then. Try to wait, delay gratification they call it. So just try to wait to get that later on down in life. And I promise it'll come, but like you need to just plant the seeds. And I was doing it early. I was just working hard, and now I'm in a position where I've got so many great people that work for me, and I've got good partners on some houses and stuff. I've got a friend of mine. His name's Turtle. Everybody calls him Turtle, but he kind of helped me a little bit when I was younger, mentored me, and we'd ride around and look at foreclosures together. And we partner up on a lot of flips together now. So we've got a lot of crews together. So he's been very impactful in my life. And then we got tons of crews, guys I love, and guys that are doing well for themselves and their families. I mean, just overall, all everybody that's involved in this operation that we have, I kind of like think of it as like, hey, I'm impacting their lives, good or bad, but I'm trying to do it in a positive way, and so it gives this all this purpose, for them, and then obviously it looks good on camera here, but it's them, it's their hard work and efforts and stuff. So.
But you're driving the bus.
I got the vision, but it's the credit to those people that are putting in the effort and the hard work.
For sure. And you were telling me a minute ago, you're kind of, I mean, I don't want to use the word retired, but you could.
I don't know about that, but I am retired. And what I mean by that is I do what I want. Like I love this. I love taking something that's dilapidated, making it beautiful. I love improving communities. I love employing guys that are great human beings and providing for them and their families. They're hardworking people, and they take pride in what we do, and that's what I love. I'm doing exactly what I want to do, and I'm still in the military, and I love going to when I have to go to drill, seeing all these 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and hopefully I'm impacting their lives. I know I'm their superior in terms of rank and all that stuff, but I want to be like impactful to them and decisions that they make. And they ask me tons of questions about, should I buy this? Should I do that? How do I do this? I say, you need to get somebody more qualified for financial advice than me. But anyway,
I don't know about that.
I try to, I feel like I love going there. Like I love being around those people. So I'm doing exactly, and I'm home every night with my family. I'm eating dinner. That's so important. I'm coaching ball. Like I am retired. Like I'm involved in church. Like I am retired. I'm living my best life. Like I'm doing what I want to do.
At 31.
At 31. Yeah.
Jacob, can we go look at some properties?
Yeah, we can.
We're going to go look at some properties, guys. Stay tuned, and we're going to see what Jacob's actually up to.